Hey guys, welcome to another YouTube Live. We are, I'll tweet this link out. We'll wait for a couple people to show up. Let's see, I've already forgotten how to do anything. I don't want to apply a filter. Nope, I don't want to do that. Now on YouTube. I wish there was like, Jason Fried and I used to do these things. What's up, David? Jason Fried and I used to do this show. We were calling it Work in Progress. I miss doing that. I also really miss the software we were using to do that, called Blab. You could put people in hot seats and have convos with them. It was just I know, Michael, I miss it too, man. I don't know. I wish Jason and I could do those more. Our schedules don't line up. He's an extremely busy guy, and I'm also kind of sporadic with the stuff. But we were like, what did we do? We did it like a month and a half straight, even throughout like Thanksgiving. I think we did one, right? Or Christmas or Thanksgiving, one of the, like, a holiday. Yeah, I wish we could pick it up again, but I don't know. We will see. It's not dead. We just never schedule them anymore. All right, so welcome to the chat. I'm going to cover just basically marketing. Scott, Michael, yeah. I will, yeah. Let me get to this chat so I have a better history of the chat while we're talking about this. I think I can get there. I have no idea. Here we go. There we go. All right. So yeah, what's up, everybody? There's like 11 people here already. This is awesome. So, all right, let's talk. Scott, also known as Boat Fam on YouTube. Go check out his channel. It's a really neat. He was doing daily vlog. I don't think. I think it's a little bit more like weekly these days. Really cool story about living on a boat in the Bahamas, and you know, I don't know how they exactly made it work, but it's you know, he basically showed how, you know, like the trials and struggles of doing this, and you know, he doesn't appear to be just this independently wealthy guy who's yachting all over. I mean, this is something that he made it very like approachable by any of us who want to figure out how to live on a boat for a while. It's awesome. It's a good channel. So he asked, though, Scott asked on one of these chats, just basically, how do we get in front of people? How does High Rise get in front of people besides vlogging? You know, clearly I'm trying to do this vlog as a way to, you know, one, it's cathartic for me. I get to, you know, talk to people, I get to teach people. So I just enjoy doing this. It makes me happy to learn how to also just kind of do film stuff and edit. But I also, hopefully it's a marketing channel for us. Hopefully I'm kind of building this audience that grows here. And if you're ever interested in us tracking leads and doing any of that kind of stuff, you'll check out High Rise. But it's, you know, I'm hoping this channel is much bigger than just using a CRM. But it is one of the ways I hope to kind of get new users kind of to you know, to hear about us, that we're around. But there's so many things that I can't tackle all of them in just one live video, but I will talk about a bunch of stuff that we do for marketing, and if you guys have questions, please ask away, and I'll go deeper now, or I'll go deeper in another chat. I think the one thing to kind of keep in mind, the thing that's most important to me about marketing, getting in front of people, goes back to Kathy Sierra. I think a lot of people probably are watching this, know who Kathy Sierra is, or familiar with her writing. She had a really great blog for a while. I just look up Kathy Sierra and read all of her work, and she's got a book out too. Read that. Some of her best stuff talks about just simply the fact that we don't buy products because we want to shell out money to own something. We buy products because we want to level up as people. You know, when I buy a camera, it's not because I want fancy new gadgets. It's because I want to become a better photographer. I want to become a better, you know, filmmaker. So I want to look at Canon, like, how can you make me a better filmmaker? I don't even give a crap about the tool. If you could give me a book that teaches me how to become a kick-ass filmmaker, I'm going to be interested in that product. It's all about out-teaching, not outspending or out-marketing. You know, there's a lot of people who are going to be able to spend more than you on click ads and tons of other marketing techniques. But just being a good teacher, that's something that doesn't always have to, that usually doesn't mean spending any money on. So that's something that's always in my head. You know, I don't want to spend a lot of money. I'm not a big believer in spending just gobs of money on marketing. And so I want to just become better teachers here at High-Rise. And so if it's you know, me writing blog posts or doing this vlog, but it's also encouraging our employees. I want them to teach people. We just made this awesome we're making it, it's in beta still, but this new version of our mobile app, it's all in Microsoft's products. It's really neat. I'm trying to encourage our engineers to do more posts about what that means and teach people about, you know, the struggles that they had using Microsoft to build mobile apps. John just open sourced a library to what was that library for? Was that one for 1Password? There's a lot of stuff we want to open source. That one might have been for 1Password. No, maybe I'm even wrong about that. But anyway, regardless, stuff like that, you know, just providing tools to teach people how to get better at doing anything, whether it's development or running a business. Really great book on the subject of getting in front of people called Traction. I think it's from the guy who created DuckDuckGo, the search engine, and maybe his partner at DuckDuckGo. Fantastic book. It's really just a really good resource to expose you to some different methods of getting in front of people, whether it's, you know, some of it's obvious, like doing, you know, software development and putting out projects that they get some buzz. But some of it introduces you to some ideas that you might not even be thinking about. Things like taking out billboard ads or going to trade shows. A friend of mine, Adrian Holovati, he's a big fan of this book. He just started going to trade shows to mention and get SoundSlice, his online kind of tablature and online music software in front of people. He wasn't really thinking about trade shows, I don't think, before he read this book. You know, it encouraged him to kind of try a trade show out. Now trade shows, I think, are probably the leading source of his business. So it's just a really just good book to kind of introduce you to some traction channels that you might not be kind of keeping top of mind, and just experiment with them. You know, the book isn't revolutionary. The book isn't, you know, going to blow your mind away. But it's like, hey, if you haven't tried this thing, experiment with it, and also find some of the things, like if you really can't stand talking to people, which is going to make marketing hard, but trade shows might not be your thing, right? Don't go to trade shows, but try some of these other channels. Find what works for you. Find some stuff with some experiments that starts to resonate, and just focus on those. You know, start doubling down on those things. And so we've tried a lot of stuff that we try everything, right? I experiment with every form of way of getting in front of people. I'm not afraid to try a lot of different things. Like, we've done trade shows. I think trade shows are actually a really interesting way to get in front of people who are really typical High-Rise users. And so we did a trade show. Again, I don't know if trade shows are going to be the best way of actually getting in front of the trade show attendees. Aren't exactly High-Rise customers, the trade show exhibitors. So I wanted to experience what a trade show is like. Maybe there's some good trade shows we'll go to, but we've done trade shows, but it's all a lot of usual suspects. Like, SEO is important to me. Our search engine game, our search engine optimization game, kind of sucks, and I'd like to change that. I've done a good job in the past of other companies. Like, Inkling was a startup I did with Y Combinator back. We started that in like 2005, 2006. I wanted to rank for prediction markets, and we were nobodies, and there were tons of other people that were ranking for prediction markets, but it's not crazy to want this and go after it. It's a lot about generating links and being smart about, the words you use on the page to describe what you do. And sure enough, we got to the top spot for prediction markets. We might be on the first page still. I think, I don't run Inkling anymore, and Inkling has merged and become another company. And prediction markets might not even be the core thing that they're trying to really, get people to search for. But back in the day, we were the top for prediction markets. using just kind of stuff you can find. Check out Moz.com, and there's a lot of, I'm not the gift of search engine optimization, but we did pretty well just by focusing on it. But we try everything from click ads. We're trying, in the usual suspects like Google, and looking at newer platforms. There's newer ad platforms that keep popping up, whether it's Instagram or Quora, and we check these things out, and we spend a little bit of money experimenting with, do these things convert? They're usually pretty cheap when they start, so it's kind of, if you're going to get in on them, the earlier the better. It's always kind of good to fool with these things. Google ads today it's crazy. It's a lot of work, I think, to try to find the arbitrage opportunities in Google. So I'm not really set on it, but I play with it. Maybe there are some things that we could tackle that haven't been inundated yet, but probably not. We take out some magazine ads. We were in Inc. magazine this month. Our ad, I think, is going to run 2 more months. Again, something I'm not afraid to play with. It was kind of a challenge. I had, I don't have a good print designer on staff, so I had to kind of do my own print design, which was a little, eye-opening, but it was doable. I had to read a lot of stuff about how to create a print ad and how it's different from making, and doing stuff with colors on the web, but we did it, and I liked how it turned out. What else? Some things I'm interested in with High-Rise that I'm trying to pursue are partnerships. We see a lot of people that I think, a lot of franchises of things, like a real estate company, for example. There's a bunch of real estate companies where all their franchisees are creating High-Rise accounts. I think if I could get a relationship with a partnership with kind of the corporate center, I think I could make it a lot more affordable for them, and it would also benefit us by maybe even giving us more exposure to their franchisees. So I'm not, I'm making cold emails and trying to get introductions to partnerships. So I think partnerships are going to be a potentially good way of getting in front of more people. But again, it's like, I think I gotta do a lot of it, and the hit rate is going to be very low. But it's only going to take one partnership, I think, to make a very big impression, to a lot of people. We try to do things, I brought it up earlier, like open source projects. I'm a big believer in open sourcing your work, whether it's code or it's other things. Maybe it's an Excel spreadsheet, or it's just open sourcing and being kind of transparent about how we run our business. Even doing this vlog is kind of like open sourcing stuff in my thinking and what we're trying to do. And I'm a big believer in just doing that. There's very little that I think you have to worry about. Your competitors aren't watching this and copying down everything that you're trying to do. Besides, if they did, they're not going to replicate it. They're not going to replicate the recipe of you doing it. They're not you. So I feel like people are way too scared of open sourcing everything when it's a really powerful way of getting in front of a lot of people. Yeah, like I said, like cold emails. I do a lot of writing. Like, writing is one of the obvious ones that has actually had a lot of benefit to us getting traffic to High-Rise. I write on the Signal versus Noise blog. I do a ton of writing on Medium. I've also got bylines in publications like Forbes and Huffington Post. Forbes took some work, it took some relationship building to get in there. Huffington Post, I was kind of invited because they saw some of my writing and wanted more of it in Huffington Post. So I write in a lot of different publications. I'm in the Mission publication on Medium, which is another good one that gets a lot of traffic. And this is all, some of it is trying to ask, like the Forbes one is asking and trying to go after it. It did require kind of telling them, like, hey, look, I'm a good writer. There's a lot of stuff. Can I write for you? So it takes a lot of practice, a lot of reps of doing it over and over again. But then sometimes it takes just reaching out to people like, hey, can I write for you? It's been a great source of traffic for High-Rise, and I'll keep doing it. I want to do more of it. We're actually reaching out. I think we're going to do some work with a PR firm in the near future, because I think I could definitely use some help with some of these relationships of even kind of amplifying my writing. Like I write for Huffington Post and I write for Forbes. That means very little unless an editor at either of those publications sees my writing and kind of promotes it. Like Huffington Post, if you write on there, you get into like their contributors section, but then it doesn't go anywhere. Like you have to kind of promote that yourself. There is no one paying attention to the contributors section. And even if you're in the contributors section, you might not even see your post there. An editor, I think, has to find it, read it, and be like, this is good, check a box, and now you kind of get into the queue of their front pages of their different sections. I think Forbes is kind of a similar way. That's just how it is. And so I think I could maybe use a PR firm to kind of help build some of those relationships, because I publish this stuff and I think it ends up in the ether. If I knew some more editors, I could be like, hey, I think this post that I just posted at Huffington Post might be a good one to promote. Maybe they'd agree, but I could use some help there, I think. That's it. I mean, the relationship stuff, I would like to get High Rise mentioned in more media. I think we do a lot of stuff that's worth mentioning, but I think like our brand is old enough that we could use some help kind of getting in front of some more journalists. Some of it I could do on my own. I'm a little pressed for time doing that on top of other things, but marketing is like one of the key things that I do, so I do make it a priority to do a lot of this stuff. Another thing that we do that I think is worth mentioning in terms of getting in front of people is just working on the product. Whenever we work on the product, we announce stuff and we try to keep this like momentum going of features we build. And every time we release something, that is an opportunity to get back in front of your customers and mention like, hey, we just launched this, check it out. And by the way, if you like this, please tell others about it. If you log into High Rise right now, every time we launch something new, a blog post, there's a little section on top of High Rise that says like new features, and it mentions a few links of new things. At the bottom of that is, if you like these updates, please spread the word. And a lot of people spread the word. And I mean, you don't want to kind of keep hitting people over the head like, please spread the word, please spread the word. They're going to get sick of it. But you know, you just did this awesome thing for them. You know, they've been asking for this feature. You just delivered it. It's a good opportunity to be like, hey, if you dig it, please share a tweet. We could really use it. Don't be afraid to ask for that stuff either. Just asking for shares has been a big reason that I've gotten shares and I've gotten people to follow me on Twitter and gotten this extra push from what we do. Don't be afraid to ask for it. That's a handful of things that we do to get in front of people. I'm sure I can go deeper into all of these topics if you know, but you know, I've already gone 16 minutes now, so I'm going to close this out. And please, in the chat, in the comments, please ask away. I'm happy to keep diving in some more about how we try to get in front of people. And you know, it's a never-ending job. This is one of those things that I don't think you ever really just get good at it and it goes away. You constantly have to think about what's next, because once you get good at one channel, your competitors are getting good at that channel, and it's not always you can't just kind of rest on your laurels there. However, I think some things like out teaching your competition, always focusing on teaching is one of those that is always going to lead you well. Just follow that, and the rest of the stuff I think usually kind of works out when you start investigating and experimenting with these other channels. But focus on teaching, and I don't think you will fail at getting in front of people. That's it, guys. Thank you. I hope you had an awesome weekend. I hope your Monday started well, and I hope you're digging these daily vlogs. Please hit those thumbs up. Please share the channel on Twitter, Facebook, or wherever it is you're on social media. I would love it. And if I could be of any help, please email me, tweet at me. I will try to do my best. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, guys.